So first thing we want to do is kind of understand the golf swing's a circle, and we're going to swing on this downward blow to the ball. We're not getting under the ball. We're swinging energy down the circle. We're in the middle of the circle creating all this power. Now, where that power comes from 6 different things we possibly can move. We can move from the wrist. We can move from the shoulders, hips. These are the bad things that help people when they want to lift. So we're going to use the ground as a force, and your core muscles and your arms. Those are the better 3 to create the angles we want. So the arms are always in a swinging motion around our body. They're creating the swinging feeling. The legs are always a driving force in the sense how we move off the ground. And our core muscles, which keeps everything grounded and downward. So we want to say this creates this downward blow to the ball. You're going to see him hit the ball first. You'll see this ground take a divot afterwards. He's in on a natural. Tour players will take the divot as they're hitting a downward blow to the golf ball. From this view, you'll see in slow motion, you'll see the ball hit and compress against the face. The face pops it up. From this side view, you can see the club has loft. So each club has a unique angle up. This one's probably right here. It's going to hit the ball first, and then the club's going to keep heading down to the bottom, what we saw here with Roy making the divot afterwards. He's creating compression downward. And it hits that face, and it pops it up in the air, and that's how balls get up in the air. So we don't really truly get underneath it. And this club is in this slant, which is important. Why the grip? Because without the grip, you can see his hands are in this, what we call this extension. What we want, that's because he's leveraging that shaft at impact. It's leaning this way. And that's without the grip, we can't get to that leverage point in golf. And so that's why everything kind of works from that grip. In a sense of we're creating compression, not lift. And here from super slow motion, you'll see where it hits the face. It just balls bounce off the faces, not so much underneath. Because if we were trying to get underneath it, you'd see it bounce it or hitting there. So that said, let's go back to look at the grip here. So on a grip, when we do it, the teaching aid, if you get the little teaching aid, it has a V on the grip. That V needs to point towards that right shoulder. And this gets our hand in what we call this extension, meaning it's bent in and the hand's on top and you will not see the fingers. What we don't want to do is look like this with the hands of seeing fingers. That would be bad. And vice versa, we wouldn't want to see the fingers on this side either. This means these hands would be in flexion and we want extension. So the proper grip will have us like this, where they're bent in, seeing the knuckles, no fingers. Get that hand on top. And that allows us to get this club in this leverage position we see over here with Roy. As far as power goes in the swing, is a simple drill. Instinctively, if somebody tries to get underneath it, they're going to use, you'll see you guys will use your shoulders and your wrists trying to lift. This bag tells you we're not trying to get under something, we're trying to play leverage to something. So in the swing, what we're trying to feel is we're trying to compress the ball against that face, and that face will pop it up. So we're not trying to lift, we're trying to compress. So if I get here in this position, you see this is kind of like as Roy's coming in, he'd be hitting the bag on the same thing. So there is no lift in the swing, this leverage. That's why we need the grip. Now, the key things that you want to work on is you want to feel that your legs and your core and your right arm is you can see my arm is tucked right here at my elbow. I'm going to keep this part of my arm next to my body the best I can. And this arm's going to fold in my swing, and that's going to help create speed. And all that power is going down to the ball. Roy, same thing. We're going down to compress the ball. We're not trying to lift it. This is the same motion in every swing. And in the other videos, we'll go over your ball position from that point. Now, let's take a look at your swings. Okay, so the first thing is we're going to look at the grip here. So both of you, it's this left hand has to be on better. That both of your hands, and we got a little bit too much fingers underneath. So the hand's in flexion, it needs to be an extension. And this one needs to be more on top, meaning it's too flat here. We need to feel like this hand is more on top. So using those grips, getting your hands on there correctly. Now when you swing back, what's going to happen is your hands are going to get crooked. You'll see them kind of bend sideways here, which is hands going to flexion. That's because of your grip. So that grip gets better, that hands won't do that in your swing. So now right here, you're trying to get energy, what I call high. You'll see your knees over move down here. That means your feet are trying to find balance. It means you're up here stretching, doing a lot of energy away from the ball. And we got to get our hands a little bit better alignment. What you do great is how your legs kind of ground and you make a pivot. So we had to work on those hands a little bit in your swing. Now the natural motion, you see the scooping and lifting. You'll see the shoulder go up. And there's an underneath scoop. So that's someone trying to lift it. That's a lifting swing. And this one, you didn't do bad. You just got to get those hands on there for the club. You didn't try to lift, which was great. You stayed down. You just got to get those hands on so it can release better in your swinging. So let's take a look at the newer version. So the grip is this specialist left hand's on a much different position, and that's a better grip. As you swing back, we didn't try to do that extra motion. We just kind of felt that core feeling, feel the arms kind of connect. And you can see here the back swing is not so much up. We kept that arms lower, closer to the body. And here I just told you to go down and hit the bag with that feeling. You see everything line up? Instead of everything pulling away, you went down to hit the ball, to hit that face. Now the arms can extend and release, and there's a more consistent looking energy source back to the ball instead of all this extra motion where you're trying to lift and help the ball up. So just keep working on that. Try to hit tees to let you know that everything's going okay. For both of you, feel the bag is a sense of your hit. You're trying to hit the bag as a force. That hits the ball and it launches up, and after the bag, we just let it like slingshot back up. So much simpler, compact look here. Instead of all the extra motion in your swing trying to lift it up in the air. So the hands, you can see here in the new version over on the left, your hands, you can see how they're kind of twisted over here behind you, and that hand's buckled in. These hands are in a better position to the club. And it's really just grip and hands. You do not try to lift it, which is great. This is you hitting the tee. It just comes straight down. And then just think of the bag there. You're going to hit the bag as a force down. And then the momentum brings you back up. But if you get that grip, everything lines up. So grip, energy, hit the bag. Use your core muscles, your arms. Swing down and let it come back up. Instead of the club face can't line up with the old grip and the way you're trying to go back to the ball. So keep working on the grip. Feel like you're hitting the ball on the way down, not trying to lift it, and then the momentum brings you back up.